Did you know that 74% of consumers right now are concerned about a recession? Yeah, I know. If you're one of them, you've come to the right channel. I'm Debt-Free Joel, and on today's personal finance video, we're going to talk about 5 ways you can prepare for a recession. If you like these type of videos, cool. Click the like and subscribe button, and let's get to it. So the first thing you can do to prepare for a recession is to update your resume. You see, a lot of people don't realize that during a recession, job stability actually goes pretty down, right? Because everybody's worried about losing their jobs. What you're going to start realizing is that companies are going to start cutting back on their costs. And one of the primary costs for a company is you. So what they start to look at is people's salary. They start to look at people from a budgeting standpoint. And unfortunately, in our economy, when there's a recession, there are layoffs. So one of the first things you guys should be doing right now is updating your resume. Make sure it's updated, make sure the language is right, just in case, God forbid, you lose a job, you can move on and transition to hopefully something better. The second thing you want to do in a recession is you want to start decreasing your spending. The only way for you to start decreasing your spending, in my opinion, is to go through your budget line by line. If you and your spouse, or if it's you by yourself, it doesn't matter. Get out a pen and paper, get out an Excel pad, whatever you need to do, and start going through your budget. Start looking at everything that's affected by inflation. Start looking at everything that's affected by your expenses. Things that come out of your pocket, things that cost you money every single month, write that down. And start to look at ways you can cut back on spending. So for example, if you guys are going out every single weekend and enjoying yourself, like I am, you may want to cut back on it. Maybe you're not going out 5 times a week. Maybe you're going out 3, for example. You know the expression, you got food at home. I tell that everybody all the time. So make sure that you start to go through your spending and start to reduce it where you can. If there's memberships for things that you're no longer really using, start to cut them. Get ahead of the recession. So that would be my second choice, is reduce your spending. The third thing you want to do is you want to make sure you start to bulk up your emergency fund. Now, if you've been following my channel for a while, you realize that I always say you should have 3 to 6 months of expenses. Going into a recession, I'm more of the stance that you should have 6 months or more of expenses saved up. And what do I mean by expenses? Well, if you remember rule number 2, you went through your budget and looked at all your expenses and started to figure out ways to cut back on your spending. Well, when you have your monthly spending number, times it by 6. That's the number you want in your emergency savings. That's not the number you want in your investments. That's the number you want in your savings account that's just sitting there for a rainy day fund. My personal opinion is start to bulk that up. If you have a spouse, you should be doing this together. Hopefully it's easier since you have 2 incomes. If it's by yourself, you still should be able to do it. Try to get to that number as soon as possible. I really do think that if a recession comes and it starts to affect us in the way that I think it's going to affect us, one of the first things you want to do is lean on your emergency savings if and when you were to lose a job or something were to go wrong. So that's my third piece of advice: boost up your emergency savings. The fourth thing you should do, you guessed it, cut back on your debt. This is Debt-Free Joel's channel, by the way, so what do you think I was going to say? But seriously, jokes aside, the things that you can start to take care of and reduce your debt, please do. So think about your credit cards. That's the number one thing I always tell folks, is make sure you're not in credit card debt, especially in today's environment where interest rates are rising. Remember, as the Federal Reserve starts to raise interest rates, they start to raise interest rates on your credit card, which means your balance is going to get higher just because the interest rate on your balance has gotten higher. So that's the fourth thing I would tell you, is start to pay down your debts, especially as it pertains to your credit card. And the fifth thing you should be doing is stay invested. Do not go into your 401k when you see the market tank and start to withdraw your money or stop investing. That's the wrong time to do it. Statistics show that people who stay in the market during turbulent times actually have better performance overall. Do not time the market. Under any circumstances, do not time the market. I work with investment professionals on a daily basis. I can tell you, every single time that they try to time the market, they're usually wrong. People right now on Instagram, YouTube, and all these people that are trying to tell you how to time the market, they're lying. It's not sustainable. So stay invested. These are the times that you actually start to make money because you're buying things at lower prices over a gradual amount of time. So that's my fifth suggestion. Make sure you stay invested. So those are my tips. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's @DebtFreeJoel. If you want to follow me on YouTube, it's @DebtFreeJoel. It's the same name. I cover everything in finance in terms of saving, investing, and most importantly, charity. Until next time, keep your money up.